We're back to discuss San Andreas, and if you watched our review, we were fairly cool on the movie. It is just another disaster movie. It has some good effects, has some interesting things happening in it, and fairly good performances. Completely done to death script, full of tropes. No one that we care about really dies in the movie.
And at no point do you think they will.
Yeah.
So that takes away the tension. Even though what's going on screen is like very, actiony and like and dangerous, but you know, there's no real danger for.
I mean, and they do this thing with the fact that it's a PG-13 movie where pretty much everyone that dies just dies under a pile of shit.
Yeah,
just something lands on them.
You're never going to be connected with the person in any way that you'll feel anything.
Right. Like, they feel no pain. They don't, you don't see the aftermath of what happened. It's just, they're running down the city streets and some guy, just disappears under a big
But no, before he goes...
rubble.
Or... Hey, what does The Rock have against trains? Because, he'll save you in a boat, he'll save you in a helicopter, he'll save you in a truck, he'll save you about a plane, but no trains. I thought at one point he's like, we'll take the subway.
Well, they take, the San Francisco, trolley car or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty much
by the time we got to
underwater.
the boat, I thought, okay, we're going to exhaust all modes of transportation.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say, I said before, there wasn't anything that was a standout, wow, that's amazing scene.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I did really think was cool as far as, a visual effect was when they were driving the boat up the side of the tsunami, and they got to the top, and there was, that cargo
ship. A container ship, yeah.
That was pretty, that was unexpected and pretty cool.
Right.
Because you think about the scope of how big those things are compared to that little...
Yeah, and it's been dragged along like a little kid.
Yeah. That part was pretty cool. But, I mean, a lot of stuff, and for me, it's a volume thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like special effects, and I like, these sort of well-done disaster set pieces and things like that.
Uh-huh.
But when your movie is 2 hours of that,
you get fatigued a little bit.
You wear out really fast.
Yeah.
And I was talking before about that Hoover Dam sequence.
Uh-huh.
As soon as that started crumbling, I was like, oh God, this is not good at all. It looked really bad. It looked like a computer game.
Yeah, I don't really have, right now, a clear visual memory of that so much. A lot of the building stuff was quite intricate.
Yeah.
Nicely done, and, how they arranged the focus and stuff was pretty cool. It wasn't annoying, some movies are annoying the way they do those shots, but I thought this was pretty cool. Mostly because, most of them were almost fly-through shots.
Yeah.
So there was always something interesting happening in the foreground and the background, and, a building would literally split in half and you'd go right through it, and it would open up to the whole city was in trouble. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But again, not rush out to see it kind of good, but just it was cool.
Yeah. It's it's good enough to survive in 2015.
Uh-huh.
It's not
pushing any
the
boundaries.
boundary.
No.
And that's the sad thing is we did just enough to make a summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
And whether or not it
only
actually becomes one,
I don't know. I mean, if it hits the spot.
I mean, there wasn't a huge crowd at our screening, but we also saw it in 3D, which tends to be the opening night for Mad Max, the 3D screening was dead, so it's just a disaster movie. I mean, at the end of the day, there's not too much to say about it.
We were talking earlier about how it hits all the check boxes for a disaster movie. You've got your scientist that's trying to warn people. You've got your precursor thing that happens before the big bad thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your intimate family thing with a bit of tragedy in the background, and it's not going to happen again. And you've got your hero who's going to go through hell to save whatever, blah, blah, blah. And and then you've also got your
Your
almost
pseudo villain.
yeah, exactly. Your pseudo villain, the boyfriend guy who's gonna threaten the perfect family.
Who's just
unit.
like a complete trope from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, he's super rich and he's like getting in the Rock's way, and
Yeah.
like you just know that like nothing good's gonna happen to this guy.
And he ends up abandoning the daughter, and he turns out to be a selfish guy. But don't worry, he's gonna die a dastardly death.
Yeah.
He sure does.
And like, yeah, 2/3 of the way through the movie, we come back to him so that he can be crushed on the Golden Gate Bridge by a container.
So, yeah.
Like, we've almost forgotten that he existed.
And another thing that is common to all disaster movies, I think, is the like, if you're watching it not just as a movie, but like, imagine this was real. It's like how to stay emotionally true to what's happening. Because it's like, you know, if you've just seen like thousands of people die and buildings that you've lived in for years crumble to the ground, and then you're flying in a helicopter 10 minutes later, you're probably not going to have a mellow chit-chat about the past and like all this kind of...
Yes.
It's just, that's not emotionally true. You would be absolutely traumatized and just kind of, you know...
Yeah, there's a complete lack of shock
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
Which also deflates all the tension.
Right, yeah.
Like, we talked
it just
about
doesn't feel real.
how, like, we know, we just know by the way the movie is set up that nothing really bad's going to happen to any of the characters.
Yeah.
The ones that we care about anyway.
Yeah.
We know that nothing
That
bad's
was
going to happen
never
to
in
them.
play.
So it's all of this, like, destruction without tension. It's like, okay, well, nameless people are dying.
Yeah.
Like, nameless people die every day in real life, and it doesn't, like, register. It doesn't,
Yeah.
like, a lot of people died in Nepal. I'm not,
Yeah.
like, shocked and bewildered about that, because it didn't happen right next to me.
Right, yeah.
But if it had, I'd be shocked and bewildered
That
about
would be immense. Yeah. Another trope that's one of the check boxes in those movies is the thing of it's impossible unless you try harder. like when she's drowning, and he's like, why couldn't you just done that before?
Well, it's impossible.
Had you not built up the power meter of I'm gonna you know, it's like, but now that she's almost dead, yay, now I can push this thing.
He hadn't unlocked all the meter. Yeah, it's impossible until the plot says it can happen.
And then it kicks into action. Then he can suddenly move it. And then when he's trying to pump her, like save her life on the boat, it's just like, I'm not gonna give up, damn it, just try harder and she'll be alive. Okay, oh look, she's alive.
Yeah. Well, I knew she wasn't gonna die. I knew she was gonna come back.
Because he didn't give up.
Well, I knew she was gonna come back, period.
Yeah, of course.
Because
they
weren't gonna do that.
There was never any tension that she wouldn't.
There was never gonna happen.
It's just a case of how the facial expressions were gonna be directed.
Well, they wanted to have they wanted to have a reason to have her mom do the ugly cry for a few minutes.
Right.
Before she came back around.
Yeah.
But it was also this thing of...
That's such a common thing, like when the good guy fights the bad guy, there's always going to be that part where the bad guy's almost winning, and then the good guy's going to come back, right?
Right.
It's a similar kind of thing.
Yeah, it's, like, because they give us this backstory about how the other daughter had drowned, like, with him.
Yeah.
That was supposed to, like, give you this extra weight and make you care more about the scene where they're, like, next to each other and she's giving up and all of that kind of thing.
If it didn't feel so obviously forced on.
And it does, but it also tells you that there's no way in hell that's going to happen a second time.
Yeah.
Like,
imagine it did.
It did. Like, they both, like, shoot themselves in the head.
And then the camera pulls back to find out that everyone's going through these crazy situations.
And the, like, English guys are throwing them overboard and, like, freaked out.
That would be noteworthy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that would never happen. There's too much money riding on the formula.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, and it just... Like, we were there with people that wanted to see the movie, and they were just sort of like, Like, no big reactions.
Yeah.
Like, one guy was excited when the villain got crushed by the container.
Yeah! He was a bad guy.
Container shipped. Never would have saw that coming. All right. Well, that's San Andreas. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends. Check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com. And thanks for watching.